Hey everyone, Chrissy Etheridge here, the oilist. So I wanted to hop on and share about what in the world to do if you've put together a class, a make and take, a gathering, and no one shows up. Won't, right? Well, that just happened to me. And so I wanted to share what I did. Sorry, I dropped my phone trying to figure it out. What I do if that happens, because let me just tell you something. We are in the business of having classes, right? Which means that we are going to be in the business of people not showing up. Pretty simple. I just wanted to make sure that I can see. There we go. Okay. Sorry. I can't see comments when I do this in Zoom, so I just want to make sure that you guys can see me. So let me explain. I had set up a make and take class, a Christmas holiday make and take, and invited people on Facebook events. I had mentioned this to several people and actually sent personal invites out, but I didn't really do much of anything else. So let me tell you what to do when no one shows. Sulk, maybe. For a moment, but pull your big girl panties back up and figure some stuff out. Drink your wine that you set out. Eat your food that you made, if that's what you ended up doing. I have learned from history past to make sure that the stuff that I get for these gatherings are stuff that my family wants to eat later, because either A, there's going to be a ton of people that show up, or B, one person's going to show up, or C, nobody's going to show up and you're going to have all these leftovers. So I usually now just recommend getting some vegetables that I'm going to eat anyway, some fruit like grapes and strawberries that I'm going to eat anyway, and it's never a bad thing to have a bottle of wine or sangria sitting around in your house. So just a little tidbit of advice for that. Second, once you sulk and drink all your wine, it's time to don't drink all your wine up until you're done with this, but it's time to pull your big girl panties up and start to evaluate. So first things first, you need to really evaluate what went wrong. It might have been how you invited. I just shared with you that I invited only on Facebook events. I did send out some messenger reminders, but I didn't really speak to anyone individually about this party. I was so invested in BOGO week that I didn't do much to remind and prepare for this class. So no wonder nobody showed up, right? The second thing that you probably need to evaluate is what day is better. Now, obviously, what day is better for you is the number one priority, but I have multiple days off through the week, depending on what week it is. So if you happen to run on a set schedule, then you're going to have to do what you can do. But if you have a variety of schedule, I'm going to tell you that you need to evaluate what day works better for you and your group of people. I've had better successes and better turnouts for mid to middle end week than weekend. For example, some of the best turnouts that I have had have been on Thursdays. So once you start to analyze that, maybe you only do classes on Thursdays, and maybe you only have 2 classes a month on Thursdays, if that's what your schedule allows, rather than trying to schedule 4 classes a week on these other random days that nobody comes to anyway, and you're wasting your time. So that's an evaluation for sure. And then the last thing to evaluate on your class, if nobody showed, and you need to evaluate this on really good events too, and analyze each class as you have them, but particularly on the no-shows when you're kind of bummed out about it, what events were going on around your class. For example, I made a huge mistake way back in March to actually schedule a make and take class on St. Patty's Day, because I thought, oh, that's brilliant. People are going to want to come and I'll do something green. Well, nobody wanted to come because everybody was getting ready to do some other stuff. So the next thing, so look at the events around it. We just had a huge BOGO week. A lot of people on the team ordered and then, didn't want to come. because they were too busy ordering from BOGO. Now, that one's a hard one to compare to because BOGO is never announced, but the weekend before BOGO. So typically you want to schedule your classes. I like to schedule online classes about a week out and in-person classes at least 2 weeks out. I think anything beyond that, people are not going to know their schedules. They're not going to know if they can come or not, and they really have no idea how they're feeling. So that's my typical rule of thumb for online versus in-person classes, just so you know. So that would have been really tough to juggle, not knowing BOGO week happened until the weekend before this make and take. So that's kind of hard to adjust, but just look about Father's Day, Mother's Day, Christmas, Thanksgiving, things like that, and make sure you're not scheduling things around those holidays because nobody's going to show up to your class. The second thing after, you've evaluated and you're drinking your wine, start spending time doing doTERRA. I have taken the time, my class was supposed to start over an hour ago. I've been taking the time to set up some things that make my business a little bit more efficient. I have been messaging personal contacts that I have about, 6 more days until the end of the month. I've had a person upgrade this evening just because I reached out to them trying to reorganize my structure. I've sent some messages out about starting an LRP for December. So do doTERRA on that time. Don't just crap out and not do anything. And last but not least, make a video like I'm doing right now. Educate somebody, something, somehow. Get on your personal page, get on your team page if you happen to have one, or your public education page, and get on and talk about something. People are going to watch it. Most people watch the replays anyway. So get on, start recording immediately, and share something. You might discover that you really like the interaction of videos, and you might discover that people actually respond better to you. One of the biggest mistakes that I see people making when they are in social media is that you literally just copy and paste other people's stuff, which is fine in the beginning because at least you're doing something. But when you start to get more comfortable, you really need to start identifying your own personal direction, and people need to see you. They need to connect with you so they feel like they can trust you to buy from you. Does that make sense? All right. So if no shows happen, it's okay. It happens to everyone. My son made a joke tonight that, oh, it's no big deal. You hit a rank, everybody's going to show up. It doesn't matter what rank you are, whether or not you're a brand newbie or you're a blue diamond. People have no shows all the time. So it's okay. Don't take it personal. Regroup, restructure, and reorganize, and you will be fine. You guys have a wonderful evening, and I will talk to you later. Bye.